Welcome everyone to my video tutorial. I hope you enjoyed this video and you find it helpful. Today I'm going to show you how to set up your OneNote class notebook as a teacher. First, in Schoology, you're going to select one of your courses. Then you will scroll down here on the left where you have the menu and you will click where it says OneNote Class Notebook. Then it will ask you to sign in, but you don't need to sign in because you already signed in order to get into Schoology. But in case it asks, you're going to use your LAUSD email. Once you click there, it's going to take you to this page where it's asking you to name your notebook. Sometimes it will give you the exact name that you have up here in Schoology. Sometimes it doesn't, like in this case, and it doesn't matter. You just click there and you can type the name of your notebook, whatever you want to name it. For example, I want to name it Spanish for Native Speakers 2 and 3. I'm just going to name it that. You can name it however you want to name it. There's some people who like to put the year next to it. It is up to you. Then you click next, but it's telling me that there's some characters that I cannot use. For example, the period right here. You just remove it. You cannot use slash and many other things that is telling you here that you cannot use. I'll click next. Here is just mentioning what the different sections for your notebook will be. You will have collaboration space, content library, a teacher-only section, and then you will be able to see your students' notebooks once they set them up as well. We're going to click next. There's nothing to do here. Here you can give another teacher the permission to edit or access your notebook. It is up to you if you want to give another teacher permission to do so. You don't have to. You can just click next. Make sure this is checked where it says automatically add students from Schoology. Otherwise, you will have to type the names manually, and that will take a little bit of time. We prefer to use this one. In this section, you may think about this. This is going to be what the students have access to. These are going to be the tabs that students will have in their notebook. Think about a regular notebook with dividers. So what are the sections going to be in their divider? They have handouts, class notes, homework, and quizzes. I usually don't like handouts. I prefer to have class notes and homework maybe, but quizzes, no. I would change that to projects. You can add more sections as you want, or you can add more in a future time if you prefer. If you just want to have one right now, that's perfect. If you want to have 5, 6, 7, that's also fine. Then you click next. Here is a preview on how the teacher notebook will look like. You will have the welcome page, collaboration, content library, and teacher only. I'll explain those later. And here is how the student is going to look like. This is the student notebook. It has a welcome, collaboration space, content library, but no teacher only because that's only for you. And here is the student section where you can see class notes, homework, and projects, the 3 tab we just created. Then you hit create. And it takes a few minutes, sometimes less than that, to create the notebook. And once it creates the notebook, it will take you directly there. So here, it's telling you that it's done. Your notebook is ready and you are ready to open it. You can open it in OneNote Online. If you click open in OneNote, it's going to open it in the desktop, and in case you don't have the app, you may download it. But I prefer that you just click on OneNote Online because that's the one the students will be using. and it's better to get familiar with how it looks online because that's the one students will use. So here is your notebook. You may design your notebook, change it a little bit, and I'll give you some examples in a moment. For example, here you have the welcome page. This is just information that you may read. You can even watch some tutorials here, suggested. There are other frequent questions. You may get rid of all of this just by clicking, right click on that page, and you hit delete, permanently delete it, and it disappears if you want to delete all of them. And in order for you to create a page, you just click add page. So let me go back and explain this a little bit. So there are technically 3 parts on every page. This here is the section side, and this is where you add a page, and this is the page you have selected and the one you're working on at the moment. Collaboration space, this is where you can create a page or many pages where students can collaborate. It could be in pairs, it could be in groups, and they can all type on the pages that you create. Content library is a view-only section. In this section, I recommend putting the syllabus, the class schedule, things that students will see and they don't need to do anything with it but read it. I also put that language standards in here, the foreign language standards, because I teach Spanish. In the teacher-only section, this is where you need to work. This is where you want to create new sections for you to put in your notes. This is where you put in your notes that you're going to distribute to students. So you select the teacher only section, then you click add section, and you will name it. In my case, I like to match it with what students have. One of them was projects. The other one was class notes. And if I remember correctly, the other one was homework. And here are the sections. I can get rid of this one. This one is just an explanation from OneNote telling me how to use this OneNote teacher only section. You may read it and then you may delete it. Every time you create a section, it automatically creates an untitled page. That is a clean page where you can start writing. You can start typing anything. For example, I'm going to type today's notes, and I usually do my notes by week. So this is week 7 class notes. And then I will start typing here anything that I want to type, how I want to design my agenda for the class. And I'll show you some examples in a moment. This is my advisory notebook. Remember the welcome page? I changed it to this. I added my virtual classroom Bitmoji. And then here is the collaboration space, and I created a tab called Just for Fun. And I have different games here. And I just copy the same game as many times as I need it so the students can work on it. And here is one of the games that they have, and this is how they collaborate. I will use the breakout rooms and assign them, for example, 2 people have wall number 1, another 2 students have wall number 2, and so on and so forth. That's how I use the collaboration space. Now I'm going to show you here in my teacher only section how I have my notes designed. For example, here I have the unit, I have the standard, I teach Spanish, so that's why they're in Spanish. Here is my agenda, the objectives, and the date. And then here I have the journal of what they're doing that day. Something that I wanted to show you is the beauty in this program is that you don't need a textbook. You can have everything from your textbook in here. Vocabulary words, any pictures that come in the textbook or readings, activities you want to do with them, even the practice workbooks. They become handouts in here, technically. You actually don't need any handouts. And you may embed YouTube videos here with different activities for them to do. Lastly, what I wanted to show you is that here you can see all your students' name. You click on a name, and then once you click on the name, you will see the tabs that you created for the class, and then you check and see if the student has done any work in class. You will open any of the pages that you have distributed to students, and you will see if the student has done any work in class or not. You can see that this is empty. That means this student didn't do anything that day. So that's how you check your student's notebook, and that's how you set up your teacher notebook.